the Town Manlius Zoning Board of Appeals December meeting. 6:30 p.m. We're a couple minutes late. We're gonna get started here. If everyone could please rise for the pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And just out of formality, the board is here. The town attorney is not present. And I'd like to welcome Carrie, our new secretary for the ZBA. So, without further ado, can we get a motion? Or did everybody get a chance to review the minutes from last month? Have there been any questions or comments about it? Can we get a motion to approve them, please?
A second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next on the agenda is agenda item number 4, Jim Brewer, 4973 Lakeview Drive, Fayetteville, New York, tax map ID 101-01-10.0. Is requesting one variance to build a 31 square foot home. Can we get a motion to waive the reading of the public notice?
Make a motion to waive the reading.
Warren?
Whoops.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, can we get a motion to open the public hearing?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. A second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Brewer, if you'd like to come up to the podium and explain to the board what it is you're looking to do.
Are you at the podium or here? What would you like?
Whichever.
I brought some larger drawings. I don't know if anybody needs them. So,
Yeah, we got the print out. I don't know if we have that one, but.
We get the same.
same one. These are just like the documents. So, thank you for coming tonight. My name is Jim Brewer. My wife and I was elected to build a single family residence at the end of Lakeview Avenue, Lakeview Drive. Sorry. It's presently a lot that has a non-conforming house on it. That does not meet the setbacks. We intend to razz that house and construct a new single-story residence. It's the reason for the request for the setback. It's a strange lot. While it's quite large, there's a lot of constraints on it as it relates to DEC, a property that's owned by the town for a cul-de-sac that's not built. And according to the highways department, it's not planned to be built, but that creates a fairly large front yard setback. You have really all the information. I can answer any questions. As I look through all the documents that you have in your possession, there's one that you don't have, and that probably came in after they were documents were posted. But here's a letter from the.
Did you guys get that? It was sent out to the board members.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it on the bid. That's the letter from Central New York Land Trust.
Is it email?
It's the gist of it, right? Oh,
For those who don't have it.
yeah, thank you.
Pass it along here. So this is the only neighbor that the variance affects. It's a backyard variance for our house onto the conservatory property of the land trust. And they write a letter of support for the variance. I don't know if anybody went out to visit the site. I know Tom's been there. I know Warren's been there.
I drove over there.
I drove over there.
So the property along the rear is all part of the conservation. Central New York Land Trust. There was an old barn in the back that's been removed. They have obviously no plans to develop that property. Don't have any issue with slight variance on the backyard setback. So it's normally a a 40-yard variance, or 40-yard requirement. 40-foot requirement, and I'm asking it to be reduced to 29.5 feet.
Claire? Questions?
Yes, I understand what this property line is, but what's this inner dotted line? I can't read so small on the key.
Those are the setbacks. So those are the side yard setbacks, the backyard setback, and then the front yard setback.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you can't move. So to the left of the page is to the south. Stretch Pond is down there and it has a 100-foot buffer for the DEC, so he can't move the house any further to the south and interfere with the DEC buffer.
That was the only question.
Sure.
Have you received any that is assumed for the DEC land? Is that what? Yeah, it's assumed. My notes that I had on this. Sorry, let me read. It's a CMI land trust and there was a letter, it's assumed, correct? What was the statement that? I
think we just wanted to confirm that there wasn't any additional letters needed from the DEC
Yeah.
in regards to that project. So basically the property that
We're out.
encompasses Stretch Pond.
We're outside the buffer.
You are,
As long as you don't infringe on the buffer, you don't need DEC permission.
that's 100-foot buffer.
It's a 100-foot buffer, which is identified on the plan.
Yeah,
That's why we can't move, that's why we can't go any further to the south.
right.
And that's this here, that's what you're talking about here? This one here?
Just showing you this.
It's that-
That line here, 100-foot buffer. None of this can be infringed on. That's why we kept the house on the side of it.
So you're really in a tight spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of property, but there's not much buildable land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your neighbor across the street, he built a nice big house across the street.
Right,
He didn't infringe on it either.
I don't believe it.
Not for this map.
No.
I don't see it here.
No, okay.
We certainly don't have flags on the property.
So this new house is gonna be set back a little bit further than the footprint of the current house, right?
Correct.
So just use the pre-existing,
It's just about the same driveway.
using the pre-existing hookups to
Use the
extend those out.
correct, you show the gas, water. Yes, correct, gas, water. So
Right.
Yeah, the pools from the plumbing department, whatever they call it these days. For the septic tank,
It'll be hooked up to town sewer.
That section is okay.
you get town sewers in there.
So your side, you were able to finish over on all those. I believe that's-
Is that septic? Now, I know that you have your neighbor in the cul-de-sac here with you tonight that is in favor of it. Have you spoken to the folks in the house there to the right, the back of that picture? The other house directly next to it?
I'll let Andy answer that, but all the neighbors have a very good email chain. Andy wrote an email to all the neighbors explaining what we were doing and directed them to all your documents that you have here. And we
Can I
did
send a
receive,
letter to them?
from 2 doors down, we did receive a very nice letter of support or email.
Did we get any other letters?
Nope.
Did you guys submit the letter that you got from the neighbor?
From the land trust, yes,
No, the other neighbor, the one you just mentioned from 2 doors down?
we did not. It was just a personal email.
No, we don't have it.
Okay,
I didn't know about it.
do you want that submitted so that it's on the
I mean,
record?
if you want to, yeah.
Okay.
Usually we're only concerned with the people that are. most
Yeah, they're not
affected by
immediate,
it,
so
but-
Right.
the land trust one is certainly.
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
Warren,
Said you were gonna start building in the spring, right?
Probably mid next summer. A little work that we want to do that yet.
it takes racing them.
Jerry's house, that's just a couple of weeks. We didn't mention, we've talked to the land trust about accessing the property through the rear over the center, or trust property, so that we can infringe on the dead end of the street of all neighbors on Lakeview. Keep the construction traffic off of
It's
this.
like a, yeah, there's like a trail that runs back that way.
Well,
right?
they have
Like the horse trail or whatever.
the asphalt road that goes all the way to the back, and then there's a
Did
barn.
that go back to where that barn was?
Yes.
How far off the property is that street?
That street? The land trust street,
Yeah. The distance,
300 yards.
To the rear setback. Rear
Rear setback to the barn.
Oh, so the barn is 300 yards. The asphalt road probably gets within 75 feet of your lot.
The asphalt road makes it turn and comes from the old barn. There's still a barn back there. It's still elevated, but it comes down to that, within about 75 feet of the back of this property.
That's how you go in to do the construction.
Great.
Is there a path of egress through there from that?
There's a path right to, there's a path right to that old house.
You can see the asphalt on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's gonna.
You're right. Oh, okay.
Hard to see in the trees, that's it.
That asphalt loops to the left, and that is such a tightly knit cedar path on either side of that asphalt, but
There's a road underneath.
You can see it.
so we have to get back to the sewer.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna have that sewer.
well, that will need to do. Building
That,
Well, design and provide it.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Set that too.
yeah, I mean, you need, thousands.
10,000 square feet, right?
How much?
And less, 10,000 square feet and less, because there's an existing one, they would, I don't wanna speak for them, they would probably accept best engineered practices for the septic system, because anything that you guys would do would only help over there.
Well, if they're taking down the house, I'm assuming that the septic is probably out the back. The new house may sit over the old septic system. That's just an assumption on my part from about 70 years ago.
Well, we have ample property to engineer a septic system.
They have to go to a raised bed system or something else, but you're okay.
Yes, sir.
And this will have a basement, right?
Yeah, it'll have
Yeah,
basement,
I know it is.
partial basement.
Yeah, we're looking at the drawings trying to determine that, but.
The grade works well to have a walkout basement.
Any other questions from you, sir?
And no, it was a septic system that was, you know. Announced. He's gotta get approved. he's gotta get approved.
Correct. All right, Warren, any additional questions? Nope. All set. Barry? Ms. Blair? Everybody online?
There's no one, there was no one online, I double checked that though.
The process going forward, so there's another meeting in January,
Yes.
and you'll close the public hearing at that time.
No,
No, we'll close it right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the other meeting?
Well, our next CDA meeting is in January, but we're gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna close it right here. And so what we'll do is we're gonna close the public hearing. And then we'll discuss the same 5 questions you answered. And then we'll make the determination and they'll set.
Very good, thank you.
But
I'll sit down.
before the public hearing is closed, I know you guys have the assumed wetlands and then the 100-foot buffer. I put in this to them, because the wetlands are ever changing, to have a letter of non-jurisdiction from the DEC, because they put the buffer out to 400 feet based on their maps. So if you could have, the DEC write a letter of non-jurisdiction for that, and I'm sure you guys have the DEC's contact. But when I look on their wetland mapper, they push the buffer out pretty far. And I know that even though it says assumed here, it was delineated back some time. So they did go out there and actually mark it. But if we could just ensure that there's nothing there. And then I also put on here, for them, appropriate measures be made to control erosion, siltation, and pollution to all water bodies and wetlands, which would just be a silt fence.
Well, that's a SWIPI permit, what we have to be in place.
I wouldn't, no, you would just, if you would just install a silt fence when you're doing construction, you wouldn't have to go through the SWIP process or any of that extra steps. It would just be, when I went there, making sure you've got your,
Because it's less than an acre of disruption.
yeah, we can't make you do it, I would just, cause
Makes sense.
Well, we
Just
could
good
put
good
the-
practice.
We could put.
who would be, do you know who would do your foundation for you, or your?
We're not there yet. I wanted to make, before I got involved with all the details, I wanted to make sure I. had
I'm
piece of
sure
property I could build upon.
I'm sure anybody that you guys are gonna hire has the spill response training for equipment that would be in a SWIP related construction, so it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for them to already have that knowledge for if there was an issue with any of their equipment.
We don't need to have an addition to the variance, but we should add the DEC letter as a.
If you guys don't,
The DEC
I'm
as a condition of variance.
Yeah, if you guys don't, I'm gonna ask at least Naparella to do something or have the DEC, they could possibly do a desktop determination for you. Or they just go out in the spring, if you guys aren't starting this, they might be able to go out now because I don't think any of the ground's frozen around here yet and do the determination. But that would just be their letter of non-jurisdiction for you. And then that makes everybody, myself and them,
We'll work,
not have any
we'll work
questions.
on that. on that.
Perfect.
As a part of this condition.
Yeah, but the fence thing,
No, just
just
the
DEC.
DEC letter.
Yeah. Not just,
Yep.
yeah.
What's the elevation of the building lot to the, what used to be Smith's Pond?
I'll tell you exactly.
Finished floor of the house is about 570, about 576. And Snook's Pond is about 510.
So it's
Oh.
65 feet higher.
That's
It's
out of
quite
my
a
order.
drop, it's quite a drop off there.
Yeah,
That plan is pretty good.
okay, see, yeah.
But that's all not buildable.
Right. I'm just wondering.
It's the way of design stuff in this spot.
It's like you say, between the geology and the boundaries, you don't have a very big building lot.
They didn't put Smith's Pond back together.
I don't understand your question.
They drained Smith's Pond.
The condos drains Snook Pond, they deepened it, and put a new dam in.
And did they do all that? Is it water coming back in now?
It's full,
Oh, it is, okay. Didn't know. Thank
good fishing spot for my grandson.
you.
Yeah, there's extra swimming waters there.
Any further comments, questions?
That's it for me.
Councilor Nicholson, do you have any questions, sir? Yes, sir. All right. Nobody online?
Going online.
Can we, entertain a motion to, close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we'll go through the 5 questions. And then we'll go from there. All right, so question number 1, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance. Based on that property.
Can't build anything else. No.
All right, whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No.
I think so. All right, whether requested variance is substantial. It's a third of it, so I.
10 feet.
Quarter. Yeah. Yes, no?
I'd say no.
I'm saying,
Yes.
I kind of lean towards yes.
Yeah.
okay, say yes.
Yeah,
What we're gonna do?
yes.
You say yes?
3 yeses.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to 1. Okay, we'll leave it.
All right, would the variance have an adverse impact on the fiscal or environmental conditions of the neighborhood?
No.
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 No, it is replacing the house that's already existing there. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes. We want to build a house. We would like to live closer to his family. All right, so the ZBA, after taking into consideration the above 5 factors, finds that the benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood or community. ZBA further finds that a variance for, that's 10.5 feet, correct?
Yeah.
Is the minimum variance that should be granted in order to preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The ZBA further grants the variance, or I'm sorry, there's agreement that there is no significant impact on the environment, therefore proposed protective action on secret, and no further review is required. Based upon that, would someone like to make a motion to grant or deny?
That's your, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion. That the zoning board of appeals grant a rear yard variance of 10 feet 5 inches to James Brewer for the property located at 4973 Lakeview Drive, Fayetteville, New York, 13066, tax map ID number 101.01. Sorry, 101.01-10. This variance is being granted for the purpose of the construction of a 3,100 square foot home installation, with the condition that the applicant must supply the code enforcement officer documentation that you have checked the regional DEC office to make sure there is actual wetland boundary is and whether supply a letter of no DEC jurisdiction.
In either.
Or either supply a letter of no DEC jurisdiction or obtain a New York State DEC freshwater wetland permit. Appropriate measures shall be made to control erosions, siltation, and pollution to all water bodies and wetlands.
And it's a 1-story house.
That's
Well, that needs to be part of it.
Okay, a 3,100 square foot, 1-story home installation.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Brewer, congratulations.
Let me say one correction.
Yes.
You said 10 feet 5 inches, it's actually 10 feet 6 inches.
Ooh,
Yeah, 10.5, 10.5.
yeah, that's why you said 10.5 on here, but that's okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Brewer, I appreciate that. 10 feet, 6 inches.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out.
Do we have any other business? Does anybody have any other business?
I just want to say thank you for 13 wonderful years being on the zoning board.
How many years?
13.
I'll see you.
And I hope you keep up with the work. You've done for 13 years and not slack off.
The other thing I'll add to you guys, all received a copy, we discussed those protocols for visiting site visits last month. Everybody has a physical copy of that, so if anybody has any questions, let us know. And with that,
I want to remind people, training. I got Warren and AP's certificates for last year, but I didn't get your 3 for your 4 hours of training at least. Did you give me yours?
I did.
Okay, I'll have to look. If theirs were the only 2 I had. It's required to be on the board that you do at least 4 hours. So you've got to figure, I don't know if you can do it online. I don't know what's available to you.
There's periodic online training.
That's what I thought.
That, it depends, and then sometimes there's training that occurs in like nearby counties, so my. But there is some online material on the state website. And then I think it's February or March when they do the non-Dyer County one.
It's in the
Yeah.
spring, yeah,
It's usually like really.
because I'm supposed to get certificates.
We covered the cost for that also.
Yeah, but the town covers the cost. I just wanted to bring that up.
And then, I wanted to thank you guys for the 2 years of, allowing me to be your chair. Congratulations to Carrie, who will take over as chair by beginning next month. With that, does anybody have anything else? Didn't get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Doctor.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Everyone have a great holiday
Anything next?
and
But
new
there's
year.
one so far. Is that it? Tell me if
See you
you
in
have
the,
to go
Yeah, I
out.
don't wanna